Prayers of change. The castle guest room was quiet in the pale light of dawn. On the stone balcony, Lord Tarek unfurled a small rug, aligning it carefully toward the east. He rinsed his face and hands with a copper bowl of water, the coolness washing away the night's weariness. Standing tall, he lifted his hands, his voice calm and steady. Allahu Akbar. The words seemed to dissolve into the morning air. His proud bearing as a Saracen noble softened. He bowed, then knelt, pressing his forehead against the woven rug. In that stillness, he was no warrior, no scholar, no son of a great desert lord, only a humble servant before God. When at last he sat back on his heels, his lips moved in prayer for peace, mercy, and forgiveness. A faint breeze stirred his robes as he whispered his final blessing. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. The prayer ended, but his duty did not. Tariq rose and crossed the chamber to a small cage. A white pigeon cooed softly inside. He unrolled a slip of parchment, sealed tightly with wax, and fastened it to the bird's leg. Stroking its feathers, he whispered, Barakallahu feek, may God's blessing be with you. Take this to my father, it is of great importance. With steady hands, he released the pigeon into the open air. The bird circled once, then soared into the brightening sky, carrying with it the forbidden secret Tariq had uncovered. He stood watching until it vanished into the horizon. 2 days later, the kitchens of the castle stirred with renewed warmth. Carly returned to her duties, her cheeks no longer pale, her steps light once more. She greeted the guards and fellow maids as she passed. Good morning, everyone. I'm back. A younger maid rushed to her side, her face glowing with relief. Carly, how are you feeling? Carly smiled softly as she tended the stove. Better, thank you. Thanks to Matthias and his friends, I recovered more quickly than I thought. The maid lowered her voice conspiratorially. You know, I've noticed something. Lord Matthias used to be spoiled and cruel, but now he is different. Kinder. Stronger. You raised him well, Carly. You're more than a maid. You're a true nanny to him and Lord Vincentius. Carly shook her head, feeding fresh wood into the fire. No. Matthias changed on his own. I did nothing but fulfill my duty as his nursemaid. The maid smirked knowingly. But while you were ill, he didn't just care for you out of duty. There's something more, isn't there? Carly flushed, her hands trembling slightly as she adjusted the flames. No, he only cared for me as a friend. He appreciates what I have done for him as he has grown. But he is still young. Still learning. Still maturing. Her lips softened into a quiet smile. In time, I am certain he will grow into a strong Templar. The maid giggled. Just don't tell me you've fallen for him. Carly turned crimson, stammering. No, he is still a child. Still growing. The maid laughed, brushing it off. Very well, then. At least you're recovered. And with that, the women returned to their tasks, the warmth of laughter mixing with the smell of bread and firewood. At the Templar fortress, the clang of steel filled the training yard. Young squires sparred under the watchful eyes of knights, but inside the chapel, silence reigned. Matthias knelt alone, his curly head bowed low. The glow of candles lit his face as he whispered, Lord, thank you for sparing Carly. She is dear to me, more than I can ever say. Grant me the strength to protect her and the courage to grow into the man you ask me to be. Let me not fail her or you. For a long moment, his words dissolved into stillness. Then he crossed himself, stood, and placed his hand over his bandaged chest with firm resolve. A fellow Templar entered, bowing slightly. Lord Matthias! Master Prince requests your return to training. Matthias nodded, his young eyes alight with determination. I will be there at once. The boy who once pouted and sulked strode from the chapel with a steady step. Outside, swords clashed, voices barked orders, and discipline ruled the yard. Matthias drew his training blade, his heart steeled. For Carly. For his family. For God. And so, Beneath the eyes of Sir Prince, he joined the circle of trainees once more, no longer a spoiled noble child, but a boy taking his first steps toward becoming a Templar of honor